What up, traders? What up, investors? Thank you for stopping by for this fantastic video. Today, we're going to be looking at Apple. Of course, Apple's been in the news on a speculation of this Titan program. The Titan program is basically, we've heard about since, I can't remember, 5+ years on automating cars to self-driving cars to basically an Apple kind of car. There were rumors, again, I don't know if they're rumors or murmurs or just complete utter BS on Apple ever even considering buying Tesla like 5 years ago in like 2014 to 2015 time frame. I know my boy Jason Calacanis has been talking about it since that time frame as well on how, hey, Apple, just buy Tesla. But anyways, that being said, this is a very interesting topic. The stock has definitely moved on it. Tesla, in the same respect, has kind of come off a little bit due to the fact of it's being added to the S&P 500. It's kind of giving some of that people are taking their profits or just kind of like, oh, the trade's over and rolling out of it. Whatever reason, there are some speculations on how Tesla's overpriced and things like that. We can do a video about that some other time if you want to be looking into that. Anyways, that being said, if you're interested on helping and supporting the channel, we have a fantastic affiliate link with the fantastic Tastyworks. This is what I use for trading stocks and equities, so definitely check that out in the link before down in the description. And I have a new thing where it's actually an Amazon affiliate link where I kind of share some of the books that I'm reading that are the books that I've read about trading and investing. That's also down below, and some other different categories that I'm just going to throw on there that I find my little fun knickknacks, some things that I have on my desk, and some just fun things to really peruse around on. Anyways, that being said, let's go ahead and just transition into what is an Apple car. Again, they are saying that it is a hush-hush thing. They're actually not saying anything. They're basically saying there's nothing going on here behind the mirror here. Or, sorry, there's nothing going on behind the curtain, behind the wall over there. Basically, the Wizard of Oz reference. Again, you're going to be getting a lot of these silly dillies references on various different time frames throughout this video. So, an Apple car, there are like a lot of companies that you saw just yesterday really run up a lot. We had VLQ something. What was the name of that one? Yeah, VLDR, and then we had LAZR as well, really run up quite a bit. Of course, we had NIOs kind of coming off a little bit today. Tesla's coming off today as well. But Apple, once we switch over to the chart, you're really going to see on how much it has really just kind of gapped up in the sense of just on this news. Like, are people really buying it because they're like saying, oh, reports of a potential car coming out in 2024, okay? That's, again, if you can't do math, that's almost 4 years, okay? 4 years, that's quite a long ways away. But again, Apple is known for making very robust products, and the overall market for an EV kind of car or some kind of portable anything or transportation is pretty massive. Because again, if they have a better product than Tesla, go for it. Like, go for it. If you have a better product than anyone else, like, I think competition's great in this market. And I think Elon Musk has said multiple times of like, hey, bring on the competition and we'll see who floats to the top, who's the creme of the creme, as they say in France. I don't think they say that in France, but it sounds French. But anyways, let's go ahead and just look at some of these concept arts you'll see kind of perusing through Google Images. There are, again, those companies, if you're not familiar with the technology that some EV car manufacturers make, is LiDAR, which is basically using sensitives of light and cameras for computer AIs to predict and then also see on what's going on in the overall space where it's been pointing at. Elon, again, I'm going to quote him. I believe he's saying that LiDAR is a failed venture due to the fact of too complex, cost too much, and it just the lag time or the responsive time is not as equivalent as whatever Tesla uses on their senses of detecting vehicles around them. I believe they use more of like a sonar system in the sense, because again, they're actually embedded it into the door frames and the hoods and things like that, where you're not able to see this big old like squarish or oval kind of thing going through here. But again, some of these cars look pretty sick. Again, again, Apple car. Again, this is a lot of just memes here. This is kind of funny to see this kind of peruse around here. Again, like, whatever, we have no idea. This is completely speculation, boys and girls. We have no proof of concept. This looks like a Zamboni here. Could you imagine driving in that thing? That's awesome. That looks like a mouse. That looks like a magic mouse right there. But interesting. This looks like something right out of like Minority Report, honestly. Yeah. Anyways, just completely concept, just kind of like BS on what Apple car could be. Just basically going to be some kind of luxury-ish kind of car with a bunch of iPads and iPhones plastered everywhere. And then hopefully Siri is not going to be substantially more robust at that point. There's a little pun on Siri. If you don't have Siri on your phone and you try to use that and try to give it some kind of voice direction, I've had a lot of issues with it. Again, being dyslexic, I use my voice thing quite a bit. I don't know if my mouth or whatever doesn't work on my phone, but it doesn't like me. Anyways, so that being said, let's just go ahead and jump into the Apple chart. That was me jumping into the market. Of course, we got the bulls and the bears constantly always fighting for the ongoing market. You can kind of see here with, again, Apple up nearly 4% today. It was up nearly $5, even a little bit more, kind of really breaking out. We talked about Apple being in this kind of trading zone here, and it finally broke above 125. We said this on multiple of the live streams of like, hey, Apple is basically in this trading range. You saw here multiple times at 124, 125, down to around 110 to 111. Finally, it's kind of breaking out here to the upside again. I am long Apple, just an FYI, full disclosure on this one. So this is, again, kind of showing you the educational side of what I could see Apple could be doing here. Are people buying the stock right now because of the Apple car? I hope not. I really do not. I really hope not. I think they're going to be, they're going to have to wait a little bit, aka, first of all, the company hasn't acknowledged it. They haven't done any press about it. So you're really just, again, pulling on empty shoestrings. I don't know where that saying comes from either. But with that being said, we're looking for this trend to kind of continue to the upside, or at least I am. This is what I'm looking at. Because we're holding that 21 EMA here. We've bounced off it once, twice, and really kind of got from that 21 EMA here. So basically that initial break above 124, 125 now kind of becomes our base, kind of creating our support, maybe our little like a trampoline kind of thing. So if we do come down, we are potentially looking for that to hold and a little bounce up and maybe kind of hover around that level if we do get somewhat of a sell-off or any kind of movement. Again, it's a trampoline. If Apple falls off and he or she is holding a bunch of knives and a chainsaw, it can rip right through that support and come down substantially lower. So around 120 is going to be my target number 2 for level support there. More longer dated investors are going to be kind of giving it a longer leash, as well as here, buying into Apple Leaps, really looking for this again to really pan out and looking for some higher prices. That being said, this trend is still looking to the upside here. So what we're looking at here, we do have volume kicking in. RSI and the volumes on offset are also trying to print higher here. We are breaking above a key Fibonacci level, which is around the 130 range. Again, we broke that with the gap up this morning and into today. With next target, again, being its previous all-time high at 137. And when did we see that 137? We saw 137 when it did the 4-to-1 split. Again, that's when they took the stock from basically taking that really high empty price and really breaking it down to 4 additional shares for the consumer or whoever the investor was at the time, and really allowing which I think some people I'm still really confused by this because it happens quite a bit. What happened with Tesla and Apple this year, where people are like, "Oh, it's free money." It's not free money, ladies and gentlemen. It's the stock's still the same thing. It's just they're creating a little bit larger amount of, you can call it liquidity, because they're giving the stock price a substantially a cut, in the sense of more people, the Robinhood investors, the people who are just starting to invest and want to buy one share. But now with fractional shares, they can kind of go either way. But again, fractional shares are not mainstream yet, and not all brokers actually allow it yet. So this is a great way to kind of let the folks that are wanting to get into investing with Apple, allows them to do it, and really kind of rebalances that thing. So I think it's always fantastic with larger companies. I wish, honestly, Amazon would do it, and Netflix might probably be doing it soon as well. But Amazon is definitely one of my lists. I would love to see them really cut that stock down a little bit with that split. So if we're looking for that all-time high around 137 to 138, that's going to be the next overhead sign of resistance going up if we continue seeing this move going higher, with targets around 1 and 2, which is going to be around 146, 147 to around 160. So those are going to be a potential profit zones depending on what your time horizon is. If you're more of an aggressive swing trader, if you're waiting for a couple months to 3 to 6 months, some people consider that investing. That's more of a longer term swing trade, and then the longer term investment is looking for 1 or 2 years. So again, I don't really think people are buying this stock just because of the potential Apple car or iCar or whatever they're going to call it. This is definitely going to be something to be playing out. So looking at those potential targets, going to be considering some overhead, looking at those resistance levels. To the upside here, looking here on the weekly chart, this is why I love this chart. Look at this beautiful kind of cup here. I'm really potentially to see a substantial breakout if we get above that previous high, which again, this whole week we have been up pretty substantially. We have a squeeze building up here as well. We have the RSI trying to build up as well. Again, I like to follow the RSI on the weekly side because that gives a little bit more gauge if the stock is overpriced or undervalued, or where it could be. It's currently reading at 70. I have my RSI set around 80. So once we start hitting 80, which is potentially that movement up to the 137 to 138 range, where we could see that potential bust higher here and really see that potential targets coming in around 146 to 160. So that being said, be very careful out there, and catch you guys on the flip side.